All right, welcome everybody to the May 2022 Marketing Mastermind Meetup. Today, let's see, for those of you who were here last month, we talked about how to use YouTube and Google Ads to grow your business, regardless of whether you are a business to business or a business to consumer business. Today, we're doing something different from the normal teaching you a specific topic and doing a deep dive on that. Today, we're doing an Ask Me Anything. We're doing you can ask me any business or marketing related question and we will answer it. I'm actually going to open this up to my staff too. If you want to ask a business or marketing question or chime in, you are more than welcome to. We'll make it as interactive as possible. That is our agenda today, is to do the Ask Me Anything. Depending on how many questions you have, we may not go all 3 hours. So we may get out early. Number two, depending on time, if any of you were here last month and you implemented YouTube or Google Ads, you are entered to win a free vacation. And depending on time, again, we may or may not do some virtual networking. So I see we have some folks who are here for the first time. So for those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Seth Green. I started out as a retail financial advisor a couple decades ago, working at a company called A.G. Edwards, which was a Fortune 500 company that no longer exists because it was bought out twice. And when I got back I passed my Series 7 and my life and health and my New York State securities exams and went to training in St. Louis. And when I got back, my branch manager said, I'm going to teach you the formula for success in this business. And this is how you build a career long-term in this business. I said, this is great. I'm young. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to get a Ferrari and a killer stereo and a PlayStation. This is going to be great. This was the formula he taught me. This is not from the Da Vinci Code. He said the formula is 360, 15, 5, 3, 1. And this was 20 plus years ago. So there was no internet. There was no social media. There was barely email. And there was no do not call list. So the formula for success in his mind was if we made 300 cold calls a day, interrupting strangers, asking them for money to invest, we would talk to 60 people, right? We'd leave 240 messages, wrong answers, no answers. We would, again, this was landlines. I think I got my first iPhone, I got like in 2004, and this was in the late 90s. So 300 dials, talk to 60 people, 45 would hang up on you. 15 of them would say, sure, send me something in the mail. 10 of those would blow you off. 5 would book appointments with you when you called them back. 2 of those would no show on you. 3 would show up and you're a rookie, you'll close 1. So his premise was if you made 300 cold calls a day, that should average out to a client a day. Do it long enough and you can build a career. So the mantra among the rookies, which is anyone with less than 5 years of experience in our office, was 300 dials a day keeps the branch manager away. Because after you had survived long enough, they stopped monitoring your numbers of cold calls all day long because then you had clients to serve. So I don't know about you. You know what? If you've ever had to cold call or cold prospect for a living, put I've been there or I feel your pain in the chat box. I absolutely hated it. It sucked. It's a horrible positioning, right? You're interrupting prospects, you're chasing them, and it's manual labor and it's not automated at all. Because again, there was no automation back then. Stephen Brady says pain. Garrett says painful. Courtney says, I missed last month. Can I get a replay? Yes. If you shoot me an email, Courtney, I will get you a replay of the YouTube and Google ad training from last month. So I hated cold calling. And I said, there's got to be a better way. I want to get in the door without cold calling. Well, fate intervened on my behalf. And I had the good fortune to meet, learn from, and eventually borrow the money, beg my wife to borrow more than our mortgage to go hire legendary marketing guru Dan Kennedy to teach me how to get clients to chase me. No more cold calling. Everybody comes to me. Everybody knows who we are, what we do, how much we charge, and wants to do business with us, right? Eliminate cold prospecting, which changed my life, got me from A.G. Edwards has 6,700 financial advisors. When I started, I was in last place. Within 2 years of working with Dan Kennedy, I was in the top 30 nationwide for opening new accounts. And remember, I was in my early 20s. So most of the people in the top 30 had been in business twice as long as I had even been alive, right? They were all in their 60s. Except for the guy who was number one, who was Mark Dick, who was a member of the Lucky Sperm Club. And the reason he was number one was, again, this is 20 plus years ago, was his father was the VP of Human Resources at Eastman Kodak, which 20 years ago was still a big company. Digital hadn't put them pretty much out of business. So every single day, all day long, Kodak employees would walk into his office and say, I need to put in my retirement paperwork. And in the ultimate act of nepotism, his dad said, you need to go see my son at A.G. Edwards. So he had a built-in endless stream of referrals that I could never beat. But top 30 was still pretty good. What the strategies I learned from Dan that took me to the top 30, and then everything I've innovated since then, thanks to my amazing team, got me to be the only person in history nominated for Dan Kennedy's Mark of the Year Award 3 years in a row, 2013, 14, 15. And I don't think it has anything to do with me, but 2016, they stopped having the contest. So along the way, I've been interviewed in the financial services industry's 2 top trade journals, Registered Rep and Insurance Newsnet. And I've been interviewed in mainstream media like NBC, CBS, Forbes, and Inc. I've written 9 best-selling books, and I've been the cover of Success Profiles magazine. But we're not here today to talk about me, and that I also co-host the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin from Shark Tank. We're here to talk about you. So I am going to hit record. We're going to open it up, and you have the next up to 3 hours to ask me any question, any challenge, any issue on your business you've got. And we will do a deep dive, for lack of a better term, hot seat on let's reinvent, restructure, remarket your business in the next 3 hours to totally take it to a whole nother level. So I will remove the spotlight from myself, and whoever unmutes and chimes in first gets the first question.
Seth, Steve
Yes.
Brady here.
Hey, Steve.
How are you today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Excellent. I'm
Remind
doing great.
everybody what business you're in.
Financial advisor, work with New York Life. I'm 61 years old. I don't really understand social media very well. And I've been in the business a little over 5 years, and I'm still struggling. Once I get clients, I do a great job, but it's just getting the clients. One question I have for you, Seth, that I've been interested in is the college planning market. I know you've done a lot there. New York Life doesn't seem to understand, whenever I bring that up to them, understand what I'm talking about. I'd love to know what your thoughts are in that space and what's the best way to monetize it?
All right. So first of all, can everybody give Steve a virtual round of applause for volunteering first? All right. Now, I did not set this up. And Steve gave me an awesome first case study because it's the business I've been in for 20 years. So every question I ask Steve, I want you to ask yourself, because everything we do with Steve is going to apply to every single one of your businesses. So you can make money or you can make excuses. If you make the excuse, my business, I sell books on, I sell police fiction books. This isn't relevant to me. Then yeah, it's an excuse and you will not make any money. If instead you ask yourself the question, how can this apply to me? You will make money. So, Lawrence Wilson said, I missed the YouTube one. Can I get a replay? Yes. If you shoot me an email, you can get a replay last month. That will go to everybody. All right. So I'm going to start. I'm not going to just give you the answer right away because that would not serve everybody else. I'm going to ask you a series of questions that are relevant to you and relevant to everybody else that everybody will learn from. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Awesome. And I want everybody to know this is a safe space. Everything you say here, no one will judge you. Everyone is here to help each other. So, and I've got inside baseball because we're actually in the process of doing some recruiting for New York Life. So you've been at New York Life for 5 years. First question I would ask anyone, again, ask yourself this question, Steve, we're going to take 2 different tracks. We're going to do the college planning track second.
Okay.
We're going to do the one that is more quote unquote generic to everybody first. And that question is, Steve and everybody, who's your ideal client?
40 to 60, married, kids, ideally self-employed, making over 100,000 a year.
Okay, awesome. So everybody, you should be writing down your answers because when we get to your turn, I'm going to ask you the same question. All right, I got married, kids, self-employed, 100K a year. So those are demographics. That's the first level that everybody thinks of: age, gender, marital status, parental status, and income. Now, I could go buy you a list and we can dive into doing list research. And I could go, Steve, where are you physically located?
South of Boston.
Okay, so we're just going to pretend Boston. I could go onto our list broker, one of our list brokers' website, and I could build a list of every married couple with kids making 100K a year, age 40 to 60. And you could buy that list. So we could craft marketing to that list and we will get one level of response. Now they're married and they have kids. So we could address those pain points. What happens if something happens to you, right? If you don't make it home tomorrow, what happens? They're self-employed. That brings up a whole new set of issues they've got, whether it's taxes or payroll or commissions or running a business. The tighter we narrow down your niche, the better results you'll get, the faster you will get them. So I'm going to ask you and everyone else to advance beyond demographics, and we need to get to psychographics. So psychographics, what do they do for fun? Are there
Most of my clients are psychos.
They're psychos?
I'm kidding.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you said cycle and like they all ride bikes. I was a little confused.
No. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so did you say psychos like PSY, like psychopath? We got a whole different conversation to have, Steve. I can't help you if you want to represent serial killers. I won't build that marketing campaign. Joe can send you a book on serial killers, but I will not market to them. That'd be an interesting list.
I actually do have a client that his father is a serial killer from Boston.
Okay, we're going to turn this back to the normal direction and say, okay, so what are their psychographics? What do they have in common? Do they all play golf and you play golf? Do they all belong to the same church that you go to? Are they the same religion? Do they have a hobby? Are they all self-employed in the same industry? We got to narrow it down.
Yeah, I haven't gone there. I don't know. I don't have that.
All right, so let's brainstorm because not everybody else has gone there either. That's the whole point of what we're doing. So let's work in your natural affinity. So what do you do for fun?
Little golf, little boating.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an example, and this is an actual client, and this is going to apply to everybody else in the room. So we had another financial advisor who said, hey, I want affluent baby boomers, which every advisor wants, right? And you will get crappy response rates if you go after all of them because they don't have anything in common. So we were able to narrow it down, and we found that this advisor was a hunter, loved to hunt, went every day, owned acres and acres and acres of land with hunting blinds and a lodge and all this that he had built, his granddaddy built himself, and all that stuff. And I will ask you in a minute the same question I ask everybody, which is, what do you hate about your job, your business, your profession? Don't tell me now. I'm going to give you an example. So this guy, Nathan, he hated the fact that he had to wear a suit and tie. And I said, well, then why is your brochure and your website have pictures of you in a suit and tie? I said, what do you want to wear? He said, I want to wear jeans and camo. I said, then your pictures should be jeans and camo. And he said, I hate having to go to my office. Then stop having an office. And he said, well, then where do I see people? I said, if you won the lottery tomorrow, 10 million bucks, and you could do whatever the hell you wanted, whatever the heck you wanted, what would you do? And he's like, man, if I could get paid to hunt, that would be awesome. I'm like, we're reinventing your business. No more office, no more suit and tie. Your new office is your hunting lodge. I said, your prospecting meetings where you would meet with someone and do the first appointment, you are now having at your hunting lodge. I said, you are going to, first meeting is they have to come hunting with you. They have to bring a friend who hunts. So it's going to be like the four of you drinking whiskey, shooting whatever you shoot in your hunting blind for from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I said, Steve, if you hang out, I said, Nathan, if you hang out, if you hunt with someone drink and hunt with someone for 4 hours, do you know if you want to spend more time with them and work with them? He's like, hell yeah. I'm like, okay, so you're now going to do all your new client meetings in your hunting lodge, and all your performance reviews are also going to be hunting. I'm like, you're going to go hunting with a new prospect every day, or you are going to go hunting with a client every day. And he said, oh my God, I'm living the dream then. Sign me up. So we changed all of the marketing materials where he is now in jeans and camo, and the brochure is camouflage. Like everything is directly aimed at hunters. And now he hunts every day. So if he is a very right-wing conservative hunter, if I said, Nathan, it's going to be great, we're going to go after left-wing liberals who are members of the Sierra Club, he would go, I will kill you myself. He said, I do not want to spend 4 hours in a hunting lodge shooting at things while they're telling me I'm evil. I said, well, then don't attract them. You have to repel as much as you attract. You have to repel the wrong people and attract the right one. So when we get to Scott Connell here, who has a amazing product that gets rid of bugs, well, I'm making this up, Scott, I know this isn't what it does, but if it violently kills them and squashes them and they suffer, then Scott is not going to market that to people who donate to, save every animal on the planet and every ant has a soul charities, right? They would hate him. So let's find something you've got affinity for. Because if you say, we've had advisors who say, I love to golf, I want to golf all day. Well, then if I take you and tell you to go play tennis, you're not going to like it very much. You're going to hate your business and want to quit. So if we could reinvent your business where you got to do something that you love with clients or prospects all day, every day, is that golf, is that boating, or is that something else, Steve?
I can't golf all day or boat all day. I don't have that much of a passion for it. And I'm not a hunter. I'd have to really think about what that would be. I like to do, family's a big thing with me. Travel, but
okay.
I don't know.
All right. So one of your homework assignments is you're going to go think about it, and you're going to email me back and let me know what answer you came up with. And you don't have to do it all day. Let's say if you wanted to golf once a week, I'm not saying you have to do it all day, every day, but that's just an extreme example. So if you're into, let's say, family activities with your spouse and kids and enjoy other couples with kids, like most of, I've been a dad for 15 years. So now the majority of my socialization is going out, thanks to my wife, with other couples that she's friends with them from the kids' schools, or the kids are friends with the kids. So she has been my new friend acquisition for a long time. And it's always going to some kid thing, whether it's a soccer game or a dance recital or a party or whatever. So if you wanted family time with married couples with kids, we could market to married self-employed people with kids and talk about how they never take time for themselves. They're working too many hours. They're too stressed about their business. We're going to go throw a carnival. We have a dentist who was a family guy as well. And twice a year, he gets bounce houses, he gets clowns, he gets magicians, he gets food trucks. He throws a big carnival in an open field and markets the heck out of it and gets a couple thousand people every year to come, and gets all his new patients like 2 times a year out of families bringing other families to that carnival. I'm not saying that's perfect for you. I'm just tossing out something we know works.
Got it.
So I'm going to you're going to do some homework about, hey, who do I want to go after? And if I was going to spend a lot of time with them, what would I want to be doing? Now, if you say, I want to look at Excel spreadsheets of their investment performance, that's what gets me jazzed every day, I want to do that all day, then maybe we go after engineers. God help you if you want them as clients, but you could get them. They're not my personality type. I'm not that analytical, but we have one advisor who that's his bread and butter. He's like, I want to dive deep into the weeds on every single number. And if they read the prospectus and come back with 20 questions, that's fine with me.
Seth, real quick, one of the thoughts that I had was I've been divorced and remarried. The second marriage, we blended 6 kids together.
Wow.
They're all married. We have grandkids now. Our family, we have Jewish folks, we have Black folks, we have gay folks. So we're kind of the true modern family.
Right, like a TV show. Yep.
Yeah, like a TV show. And I've thought of kind of, having been through all of that as being somewhat of a niche and going after people in transition or that type of thing.
Okay.
I don't know if that's worth it or not, but
it is a more interesting marketing challenge. So I don't know how to buy a list of those people. There's no select in our list broker, at least, of blended family. So you would have to target more generically. If you're going after people who are technically they're remarried, right? If they've blended a family, they're remarried, you'd be going after married folks, maybe with a higher number of kids. Instead of 2 or 4, you want 6. You could market to married couples with 6 kids. And then in the marketing message, say, hey, this is for blended families, and the people who had 6 kids all on their own, first marriage, wouldn't respond. So there'd be some waste on that list, but you could do it. It'd make one extra step, but you could do it if you really wanted them to be blended.
Okay.
All right. So that's section 1, which everyone should be doing. The who's your ideal client? What would you want to be doing? Because think about it. So Scott might be different because theoretically consumers could buy his product on his website, punch in a credit card, it gets shipped. He's never going to see them. Right. He's not in a one specific local market where he's going to go throw a party and get 100 of his clients to show up and talk about bugs. But you could, I could, we could have a client appreciation event. We could have a carnival. We could have something where they all got together. And then what would you want to be doing with them? Right. If you absolutely love wine, if wine is your hobby, then heck, let's do a wine tasting every month. And then all of your clients have to bring friends to get in free, and they're bringing friends who drink wine. And now you know they've got that in common, and they go, my advisor doesn't ever do anything like this. This is great. I want to come talk to you. And you didn't say anything about your investment performance. They just like the fact that you gave them wine. So now we're going to switch over to your college planning question. Still applies to we can still make it apply to everybody else. The answer to your New York Life question is forgive the directness, but you're telling them the wrong thing. Their compliance department hears college planning and has a hiccup going, oh my God, we don't know what he's going to do. So the goal to New York Life, they don't care how you conceptually make the sale. They just care what you sell and that you're compliant. So if college planning is the vehicle by which you sell a ton of life insurance, annuities, and investments, if you're Series 6, they won't care how you got them in the door as long as the marketing materials were approved.
right.
So you're not selling that. The mistake you made, in my opinion, is telling them I want to do college planning and they don't know what that means. But in their compliance department is otherwise known as sales prevention. Their job is to say no. So you don't need permission to sell more life insurance. They would be thrilled if you sold it. The purpose of the policy could be hiding assets for financial aid, which I do every day. They're not going to care how you sold it. They just care that you sold it and that the person understands what they bought, and the customer is not going to do the free look cancellation, and they're going to be happy and pay their premiums forever.
I think they also don't understand how I'm going to generate revenue. Like, what part of the college planning am I doing? Is it anyway?
Yeah. So you have 2 choices there. You can be the product guy who just does, I shouldn't say just, who does the insurance, annuities, and investments. And that's how you get paid the commission or fee revenue on those products or services. Or you can also do the actual college financial planning part, which at New York Life, most likely you have to get approved as an outside business activity and probably incorporate a separate company to get paid for that work, which is what I did. The investment insurance side, my broker dealer doesn't care where it comes from. They're just thrilled. And the college financial planning as a literal separate LLC that is approved. And I am legally allowed to accept people write us checks or punch in their credit card every day to pay for the separate college planning service. So they're literally two different companies. You
Right.
don't have to do the second one if you don't want to, but it allows you to make more money and generate more leads, because my broker dealer has never asked to see the materials that market my OBA. It's a separate company. It's not financial services because it doesn't sell any financial products. So they don't care, which is how I have my get out of jail free card.
And what services are you offering on that LLC?
We are literally doing we're filling out the financial aid forms for them. We're advising how to lower their family contribution. We are helping them with school selection, and we are negotiating with the colleges for more money.
Yeah, so you're doing it all.
We are. And you and I could have a separate conversation about that if you want.
I'd love to.
Okay, awesome. Shoot me an email. Can everybody give Steve a round of applause for playing? Awesome. Who's next?
Hello, Lawrence.
Hello, Lawrence. I can
How
hear you.
are-
I can't see you.
Yeah, well,
That's okay. I just didn't know if you didn't realize you hadn't turned your camera on. If you can't or are not in a place to, that's okay. Go ahead.
okay. I think, I'm going after lawyers, injury lawyers. And
Okay.
I shot, I'm working with Vitality,
Yes.
and his market is, and I shot you the information, medical equipment companies, medical billing companies, medical business brokers, healthcare providers, surgeons. Okay.
Hang on one
However-
second. I'm getting some crackling. I'm not sure if it's from you, so I'm going to mute everybody else. And then you just have to unmute yourself. Okay, Lawrence?
Unmute.
Okay. Now, Lawrence, you got to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Awesome. Keep going.
Okay. But injury lawyers is what I want to go after, because I can pinpoint them on LinkedIn,
Yes.
Navigator. We want injury lawyers less than 10. Oh, I took your advice, by the way. You said, go ask him, what does he want? So I did.
Awesome.
And so I have that pinpointed. However, the system I was using, broke. I was using Limbo,
Yep.
and all of my robots died.
I had the same problem.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you, how do you get by that? But anyway,
Well, I have a
So-
separate solution.
okay. So that's where I stand now. I got stopped in my tracks because the whole thing is broke. I couldn't log in, and then
Yep.
when I tried to log in, all the data was gone. So I'm sitting here now empty. But I
Okay.
know I can pinpoint the target, and I'm actually doing it because it's like a cause rather than going after money. I just think it's so wonderful for the small attorney to be able to go after these insurance companies with big bad, 50 attorneys and so forth and so on. So I like to do that as a cause.
Okay. All right. So Lawrence is talking about a couple different things. The first thing I'm going to address is the technical question. So for those of you who don't know, Lawrence was using a LinkedIn automation program called Linvo. And I'm assuming, if what I heard you say is correct, Lawrence had also worked with another company to set up a whole bunch of LinkedIn accounts, and he had put them all in Linvo. So that
Right.
Linvo was sending out automated messaging and connection requests on behalf of his 10 different LinkedIn accounts to grow his network faster with 10 different accounts than LinkedIn would allow you to do with one. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So that didn't work out so well because they figured it out that you had 9 or so fake LinkedIn accounts that you bought them from somewhere. So they were aged a couple years, but LinkedIn is figuring this out and cracked down on it. I was trying that. I bought that same service. I was trying it as well. Yours lasted longer than mine did. I got shut down in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have other LinkedIn software that does. So we're no longer using dummy accounts. Because everybody I've talked to has had the same, who did that deal had the same problem. So we have found that if you use just your one legit real account, we've got software that gets around the LinkedIn connection request limit. So if you shoot me an email, I'll send you a link to it. It's not as powerful as having 10 accounts, but it's way more powerful than anything else having one.
Okay.
Now, on to, yes, as Courtney says, yes, having 10 LinkedIn accounts is a terms of service violation. If they catch you, they'll shut you down, right? Which happened to almost everybody I know who bought that service from that marketing guru who I know. So on to the second question that applies to everybody, which is, assuming you solve, let's say, the LinkedIn automation issue, which should be relatively easy, you are now going after personal injury lawyers that are at a firm where there's fewer than 10 lawyers. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. So tell me.
Let me say one. Can I say one thing?
Of course you can.
Two things. Okay. The idea is that we're going to pay for mainly their expert witnesses. And we do all kind of financing beyond that, but I'm going after expert witness. Do you want us to finance your expert witnesses? That's what I'm doing. That's
okay. So the lead magnet is we'll front you the money for the expert witnesses you need for your trials.
right.
Okay. That seems like a attractive lead magnet. How were you communicating it on LinkedIn? Do you remember what the messages you sent said?
Oh, wow. Oh, just that. Can we, okay, for Limbo, I just 3 messages, connection and all that.
Yeah.
And then we said, can we pay for your expert witnesses or medical experts?
Okay. So this is a marketing lesson for everybody. I'm just curious, do you happen to know off the top of your head what your percentage response rate was in terms of how many people replied back and said, sure?
The only thing that happened is that, and I got shut down so fast, I couldn't really determine the statistics.
Yep.
So, but 4 people said that, accepted the request, and I never got past that because, like I said, the whole thing disappeared. So
yes. Okay. So they accepted
nothing now.
Yep. They accepted a connection request, which is not the same thing as saying, yes, I would like you to pay for my personal injury.
No
okay.
way.
So the marketing lesson here for you and for everybody else, the suggestion I'm going to make is he went from, you don't know me, let's connect on LinkedIn. His next message was the sale. He was, can we pay for your expert witnesses? So he had a 7-word pitch out of the blue. So if, forgive the dating analogy, but Adrian, if you and I didn't know each other and you're single and I'm single, and I walk up to you at a bar and I say, hi, and you say, hi, and I say, can I get you to come home with me? What's she going to say? She's gonna,
well, for with me,
she's gonna throw her drink in my face.
She say, sure.
No, she's not. She's gonna listen. I was single 20 years ago. That's not what happened.
I know.
You get slapped. You get a drink in your face.
Right.
You have to date them first. You have to warm up your prospects first. You have to even see if they care. You might have PI lawyers who aren't relevant because they outsource every case, or it never goes to trial, or they never even use expert witnesses. So you need to, quote unquote, date them, nurture them, warm them up before you ask the sale question. I don't think this is a connect with me, want us to do this. I think you went from 0 to 100 miles an hour way too fast. You never got to find out, but I would be willing to bet you if you were able to do that at scale, the volume of no's, the volume of yeses you got would be tiny.
Okay.
If you nurture them and add value to them and establish a relationship and then ask that question, you will get a whole lot more yeses. We as marketers, so I did a mastermind on this, a monthly group a year or 2 ago, on a topic that was taught to me by my friend, Michael Drew, who's a book marketer and has like 92 New York Times bestsellers in a row. And I learned it at a mastermind I'm in with him as a student. And it's called the 11 Stages of Human Intimacy. And he says, as marketers, we tend to go from, I don't know you, to give me money really, really, really fast. Right?
So
I run a Facebook ad. I drive them to my website and ask them to punch in their credit card and buy something. Whereas in real human relationships, we don't do that. Right? I won't remember all 11 stages, but it's like eye to eye, like you notice somebody. Shoot, you know what? I want to go pull it up. Hang on. I'm gonna go see if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
I'll give you but we don't do it in human relationships. Okay, so it's eye to body. I see you, eye to eye, voice to voice. We're talking, hand to hand. Nice to meet you. Arm to shoulder, arm to waist. Maybe mouth to mouth, hand to body, mouth to another place, and then perhaps someplace else.
Yeah, I know.
So we go through all of those to get to intercourse.
Right.
In the marketing analogy, intercourse is them giving us money. As marketers, we go, you went, connect with me, give me money, basically give me money. You went from step 1 to 11 and you skipped 2 through 10.
Right.
So we got to go add in all those stages and you will have a much greater success rate and a much happier clients at the end. People who reply to, if you walked up to 100 girls in a bar and said, hi, want to come home with me? There might be 1 or 2 drunk enough or desperate enough who would say yes, but the other 98 would slap you or throw a drink in your face. So I'd rather greatly increase those odds so that maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 of them are saying yes. And there are no drinks in your face because there was no intimacy error where you jumped the gun immediately and thus caused a very negative reaction. I want even the people who say no to be nice about it and say, hey, I'm not right for this, but I really appreciate it. And thank you. And let me know what else you got. Because I built a real relationship.
Okay, I want to add something.
Go for it.
Okay, of the 4 people that opened it, what I planned to do was to send them 2 different analysis, like Uber suggests, and Neil Patel.
Yep.
And also on our website, deldigital.com, we have a presence report, internet presence report. So I was going to send them a report and then follow it up with, what did you think of the report type of thing.
Okay.
So
that's
what I was going to.
Okay. So yes and no. I like that you're trying to add value. That's
right.
One of the stages, right? We
right.
want to establish our credibility and give them something that makes them go, thank you.
Right.
However, now you've confused me because you went from funding expert witnesses for personal injury lawyers, but now you're sending them an SEO, a website, and SEO analysis of their website.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm a PI lawyer and your first question is, can I fund your expert witness? And then your next thing is, hey, here's an analysis of your website. They don't add up. And I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing?
Right. Makes sense.
So could you later, unless you build a sequence that establishes, hey, we do marketing for lawyers and we help them fund this and we do these 7 other things, then it would make sense. But if you go from, we've got capital to fund your expert witnesses, and oh, by the way, we're also going to analyze your website. And then I found this other tool on the internet and I'm going to send you that. All of a sudden they're confused and a confused mind does not buy.
Right.
So if you, instead of sending a website analysis report, you could do a whole separate campaign to sell personal injury lawyers marketing, and the lead generation piece would be the analysis of the website. And that makes sense.
Okay.
If I'm trying to get in the door to fund their expert witnesses, then the value adds I send are going to be like industry articles on how much expert witnesses cost, on how much they can help your case, on the struggle of small PI law firms to be able to fund expert witnesses. How do PI lawyers manage cash flow when they have to put all this money out for years before they get paid on a case when they win or settle? If you
right.
did that and sent like, here's an article on Monday, the next week, here's another article, the next week, saw this and thought of you, the next week, there's another article. all of a sudden now you're establishing thought leadership, and they're like, man, this guy Lawrence is always sending me these cool articles, so that when you do ask them for something, they're actually going to respond in a positive way.
Perfect.
So I think if you could use the same articles over and over and over again. You find 4 or 5, 6 of them, and you make that your drip sequence before you ask. All of a sudden, you will find you will have way better relationships, and you will sell a whole lot more because you didn't jump from stage 1 to 11 of human intimacy. You built up a whole bunch of value before you ever asked for anything.
Okay, so I think I could use Google Alerts to get the articles.
You certainly could. Google Alerts, Google News, LexisNexis. In the legal industry, there are plenty of places you could go.
Okay.
I would try that. Shoot me an email, and I'll send you a link to our LinkedIn automation software. It cannot give you 10 different accounts, but it will run one faster and better. It's got a way that is compliant, that gets around the connection request issue. So you can get a lot more than, let's say, the 50 or so a week that they're allowing you now.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
not as good as the having 10 fake accounts, but it will actually last.
Well, I have one more question is you see those different categories. The reason I didn't go after them is because I don't know the industry.
Right.
Now, if I was to go after them, how in the world could I learn the industry?
Okay, so that applies to everybody, right? You need to understand your target market almost better than they understand themselves. So my goal when crafting a marketing piece is to get the target market down so specific and get them nailed in terms of what keeps them up at night, what they're worried about, what their hopes are, what they're excited about, what they're struggling with, that literally Steve Brady gets my letter in the mail or my email, and he turns around and he's like, sends me an email back and goes, Seth, do you have a webcam in my office? He's like, oh my God, that's me. You literally described my life. That's the response I want. So how you are going to, first of all, this is relevant to everybody. Everybody gets shiny object syndrome, right? We get an idea and go, ooh, that'd be good. I could go do that. Oh, I could go to this website now. It says, oh, this would be great for this target market. And all of a sudden you're scattershot, right? It's a shotgun spraying 1,000 little shells.
That happened to me with you know who.
I know. I want a laser. Okay, so I don't want you with a 9mm pistol in Bill's stadium. There's 7 people in the stands somewhere, and you're trying to shoot them.
Right.
I want a Navy SEAL with a laser guided sniper rifle, and I want 50,000 people in that stadium, and all he's got to do is hit a few. I think he's gonna have good odds.
Okay.
So before you go learn, and you obviously before you go learn a new niche, you haven't even started to mine the gold in the niche you're already in.
Right.
Stay where you are until you've gotten so much gold out of that niche. You're like, man, I can't even spend all this money. I can afford to waste some learning a new market.
Okay.
Because if you want to go narrow and deep, right now you're thinking wide and shallow. I'm going to know a little bit about a lot of things. That's a jack of all trades who doesn't get paid very much. So a general practitioner physician, it depends on the city you're in, but in Buffalo, a general physician might make 50 grand to maybe 200 grand as a family doctor. But one of my wife's friend's husbands is head of the #1 neurosurgery clinic in Western New York.
Right.
He's like the #1 brain surgeon. His malpractice insurance premium alone, not his income, just his premium for his malpractice insurance is $1 million a year.
What?
So because he's a brain surgeon, right?
Right.
He flips, someone dies.
Wow.
So if he can afford to pay $1 million a year in insurance, he's obviously making a lot of money.
Right.
And it's because he's not a generalist. He went narrow and deep and said, I'm going to master arguably the hardest form of surgery, and I'm going to devote my life to it. And that's all I'm ever going to do. And I'm going to get really, really good at it. So I would not say, hey, Dr. Kaufman, my heart hurts. My chest hurts. He wouldn't know the first damn thing about why I could have indigestion. He wouldn't know. But if there's a lump in my head, he's the first guy I'm going to. So you want to be a specialist. I get the attraction of other niches. I've had that issue many times. And I have to remind myself, there's still gold in the mine I'm at before I go look and start digging another one.
Right. It all makes sense, believe me.
Awesome. Can everybody give Lawrence a round of applause, please?
Thank you, everyone.
You are welcome. Whoever it wants to be next, you have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Joe, you are up.
Fiction author. I hogged a lot of your time last time. I'm going to be very concise here. I'd like to start with the fact that I did not do the Google ads, but I'm getting success with Facebook ads. I
Really?
set a goal 3 months ago to get 100,000 people on the page, and I got 99,000. Got 120 click through, 28 cents per click on the book. Mostly by niching and trying things. And then the meta, I brought up the meta thing with Facebook. I will say this is outside of my expertise. I love the creative part of the book. I don't like the marketing part.
Okay, so you've been cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know if that's just me or if that was everybody, but what I heard was you got your Facebook ad, your Facebook ad up for the book, and it sounded like you were getting clicks to the book at like 28 cents.
That is correct.
Were you driving them to a page on your website or the Amazon page?
Driving them to Amazon, and 120 clicks, 28 cents per click. Really good performance for the money that I realized that author way better engagement than just the book. As author with to get them to go. So
Okay, everyone else is having the same issue with you. You're cutting in and out. I got that you got 120 clicks to your Amazon page. So that's awesome. And I got that you paid 28 cents a click. That's awesome. The only issue with the Amazon page is obviously you can't retarget them. That would have to be if you drove them to your own website. Do we know how much? Well, if you got 120 clicks at 28 cents, you did not spend very much. You spent $33. Did we get any book sales?
is correct. And it's my statement. Here's the problem. I come on here and learn a lot about marketing, and when I get off, there's 3 or 4 ideas that I know are great. I'm able to implement one.
Hey, that's better than 0. That's good.
And the question is that I'm throwing you a real tough question here. Is there a way to hire a marketing assistant relatively cheap on and off basis just to get me unstuck?
Yeah. Okay. So if I heard you, you said you love the creative part of, let's say, writing the book. You don't like the marketing part. Obviously, it's not the same type of it's a different type of creativity. And you wanted to know, you usually get 3 or 4 awesome ideas and you implement one, which is better than 0. And you want to know, is it possible to hire a marketing assistant on and off relatively affordably to help you implement some of those ideas every month? Did I get that right?
That is correct. And hopefully profit is there. But on the book pays there. The marketing.
You want to try stopping your video and see if that helps your internet connection and if we can hear the audio better?
Okay, I will.
Okay, so the answer to your question, so yes and no. So we tell people you can have things fast, you can have things good, or you can have things cheap, but you only get 2. So if it's fast and good, it's going to cost money, cost more. If it's cheap and fast, it won't be good. And you can figure out the other ones. So can we get you a marketing assistant to implement some stuff for you on a part-time hourly basis? Yeah, absolutely. Shoot me an email and I will connect you with someone who can help you. And it won't be as fast or good as it could be if, let's say, you were hiring, just in this example, our firm to do something for you, but it will be cheap, which is the one of the 3 that you emphasized more, because obviously you don't have the budget yet.
Cheap is the concern.
Yes.
couple
Yeah,
hundred
shoot.
dollars a month, something like that, and then test their performance for my performance. See if I'm getting the value that I can't create.
Got it. Yes. So yes, you could, yeah, shoot me an email. We can certainly hook you up with someone who can work with you on a part-time basis to get some stuff done for you, small, small marketing tasks, and then see how does them doing it work better than you doing it. And then hopefully over time, it makes you enough money that you can afford to get the real thing.
Correct. That's a great idea. Let's set up a plan. Shoot you an email and we'll get this thing going.
Awesome. Well, that was your idea, so you get the credit. It wasn't my idea.
All right. Hey, I'll throw you one more. You think on my book, the Facebook ad is better or Google ad? If you had a gut instinct, I have not messed with. Should I pull the Facebook ad now, move to Google?
So I haven't seen the Facebook ad, so I have no way of knowing the answer to that question, but I will tell you, since you are running the ads to your Amazon page, if you ran both Facebook, Google, YouTube at the same time, you would not know which ad resulted in any book sales because you cannot put conversion pixels on an Amazon page because you don't own the website, Amazon does. So if you wanted to track performance, you would have to pause the Facebook ad, turn on the Google ad. I would pause it for a couple of days before you turned on the Google ad and then see, hey, how many clicks did I get? Go after the same exact target market. What was my cost per click? Was it still 28 cents? And then how many books did I sell? And that would be kind of the unofficial way to track the Facebook ad versus the Google ad. If it was your own website, we could obviously have conversion pixels and they could run at the same time. But if you're driving them to Amazon, you'd have to pause one ad for a couple of days and then turn on the other one.
Okay, I get your answer. I will throw out a question I know the answer to. Then on LinkedIn, I get approached by people in third world countries saying, I will do advertising and marketing for your book. Please send me some money on PayPal. I know better than to send them money to get what you pay for. $75 worth of marketing is probably going to get very little result.
Okay, so no sending money to people in third world countries who market to you on LinkedIn with their fake LinkedIn account. They bought from the same place Lawrence and I tried buying ours. So no, I get pitched that 5-10 times a day. I ignore them all. The one or two, years ago when I fell for one or two of them, there'd be plenty of times where my money just disappeared and I got nothing. And then there were times where they did something, but it was not what they said, what I thought I was getting. Every time I did it, it ended up being a waste of money. Save your money.
Excellent.
So the people on LinkedIn who you don't know, who send you a message going, I can market your video and market your podcast and market all of this, and I'm $10 at $5 an hour, are just as qualified as the Nigerian prince who needs to get money out of the country and needs your bank account to do it.
I agree. I'm saying it for everyone here.
Okay. Well, thank you for benefiting the group. In case we had any members who were unaware not to do that, thank you for sharing that.
They hammer me on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I get endless amounts of inquiry.
See that they're going straight for the sale. They're ignoring the 11 stages of human intimacy.
And yes, correct. They're going straight to drink a shot of tequila. Correct.
They're spamming people going, give me money, give me money.
That actually works though for somebody in third world country.
Yeah, don't do that though.
Okay, I'm not doing it.
Good.
Hey, thank you. I'll
no problem. And Dr. Tonti says Nigerian princes need help too. All right, can we give Joe a round of applause, please? All right, who's next? Let's see, we got Scott, we got Dr. Tonti, we got Howard, we got Courtney.
I'll go.
Hey, Doc.
So this is a different situation that I've been in before. I'm looking at.
Can you turn your camera on and let's see if it works? First of all, can we get everybody to give Doc a round of applause because he got his YouTube ad video produced and got his ad up.
Yes, I did.
All right, awesome.
So this is, I was reaching out to a physio down in, because I was trying to attract more golfers this season. So I was just trying to pick his brain. And he was
And
like,
you
oh, this
said
is
physiotherapist?
a physiotherapist,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
in Calgary. So a couple hours away. And he's like, oh, interesting that you mentioned this. Just over email. Him and his partner actually have this basically info marketing business that they want to sell. Possibly, they're not 100% sure on the details. They've been kind of flirting with the idea for a while. They're kind of in their 60s. They want to retire. And basically, this is something they've been doing for a long time, for the past 25 years. They've been basically teaching seminars to clinicians, so other physiotherapists mostly, sometimes other types of clinicians, chiropractors, athletic, etc. So they have all this like information on golf, essentially, how to, everything about golf, being fit for golf. Their company's called Fit for Golf. And we're working with TaylorMade, which is a big company in Canada.
I have a set of their clubs.
There you go. Yeah. So, and the golf community, as you know, is really small. So most people that are in it like know other people that are in it. I met with the one person who is a golf pro. So it's the golf pro and the physio that own the business. And I met with him the other day, a few weeks ago, and he was mentioning, like basically he knows everyone everywhere in the golf region, and he knows all these golf courses. And yeah, I was just wondering what it would look like to possibly purchase that. Like, what would be things I need to know about if that's something I wanted to do. I feel like I kind of come at it from the angle of, like, I treat a lot of golfers. I'm not great at golf, but I treat a lot of golfers. I know like the mechanics and stuff and how to treat it, but knowing that and actually doing it, of course, are two different things. So I kind of have like that, doctorate title behind my name. So I feel like I can bring a little bit of asset to that. And I feel like they're kind of underutilizing it in that they're only really doing occasional seminars. He was saying maybe 5 or 6 a year. It seemed like more of an excuse to go vacation across the world and expense it. And that's really what it seemed like. And they haven't done any in the past couple of years due to this thing going around in the world. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really have any other details other than that.
Okay. So that's that could be an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
So we actually did something with another chiropractor here in the US who was a very passionate golfer. Like that was, hey, if I could play golf 3 times a week and get paid for it, that'd be great. So we built him a golf practice where he doesn't do regular, just I have low back pain. He works with golfers and they will pay him like 10 grand a year, cash, no insurance, for the golf package. And they get X number of treatments and exercises to do and products that he gives them to keep them improve their golf game.
This isn't Greg Rose, is it?
No, but I know who Greg is.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of buying an info business so my question is, what are the products that they sell? Is it all over the world? Where are they selling them? Because if it's local, let's say to Calgary, then obviously you could then go to those customers and offer to treat them and come up with a golf package and get new patients. If it's worldwide, then you're not buying it to get patients, you're buying it as an asset. You could theoretically sell their products to your patients who play golf. And you could also do some marketing and grow the business and have it as passive revenue. So my questions would be, how many different products do they have? How do they get sold? How many customers are on their list? How many prospects are on their list? How much revenue does the business do the last 5 years each year? How do they market it? And if they were, I would ask, hey, if you were 20 years younger and looking to grow this, what would you do? And they'll give you some good ideas. And depending on how that business is structured, if you get answers to those questions and you want to send them to me, I would be happy to discuss it. We have acquired other businesses in the past on behalf of our clients and ourselves. So I could share some ups, downs, horror stories, things to avoid when buying somebody else's business. We're negotiating the purchase of a e-commerce direct-to-consumer business right now. I've been part of negotiations for 2 in the last 7 months. These were all, you know, $5-10 million companies. But I learned some valuable lessons I'm happy to share.
Cool.
Awesome. And that brings up another strategy for everybody in the room, is growth by acquisition, right? If someone else has already taken the time to build a tribe, a customer list, or a business serving your target market, sometimes you can buy growth faster by buying their company. Sometimes you can buy a company without putting up any of your own money. The last 2 transactions I am a part of, I'm not putting up any of my own money. I have bought financial services practices from other advisors without, and then paid for the practice out of the revenue it generated. So I didn't put any money down. And then if those clients didn't come over, if they left, the amount I paid dropped because I lost those assets. Thankfully, I haven't lost any. But if I did, then I would be owing them less money. Another thought is, it might not just be a business you can acquire. Like, let's use Joe Fair as an example. What if there is a Facebook group devoted to police fiction that has 300,000 followers, right? It's going to take Joe a lot of time, years, and a whole lot of marketing budget to build a Facebook page with 300,000 followers. It would probably be cheaper to just buy somebody else's group, and poof, he has an instant list that he can market to.
I'll be Googling that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go in Facebook and search for groups about whatever. You can buy YouTube channels. You can buy podcasts. There's people out there. It's interesting. I actually emailed someone about making an offer on their show that they haven't aired an episode in 2 years, but they had like 100,000 subscribers in a niche we're in. And I said, there's going to be some drop off because you haven't aired in 2 years, but if you started re-airing, you could probably re-engage. I'm hoping at least half. You're not doing anything with it now. Let's see how much money I can make off that list, and I'll pay you a cut, and I'll take over the business that you're not using. So you don't, one of my favorite lines from Peter Sage, Peter was incredible story. I'm reading his book right now. He was on my podcast. So Peter was Tony Robbins' #1 trainer in the world for 10 years. And then he ended up in a civil suit that turned out to be bogus, but he was in a civil suit in the UK for one of his companies. And they held him in contempt of court because he was in an unresourceful state, let's say, in the courtroom. And literally he did, I think it was 6 months in the most violent prison in the UK. He's a non-criminal, non-violent offender in with murderers, rapists, drug dealers, and gang members. And everyone told him, your wife's going to leave, your businesses are going to be over, your life is over, your career is over, your marriage is over. And he said, no, it's not. He said, I'm one of the top behavioral change experts in the world. And God just put me in one of the worst prisons in the world. You think that's an accident? He said, I'm going to go in and revitalize that entire prison. He's like, who needs the Tony Robbins message and work more than those prisoners? Like literally when he went in to prison, they said, are you undercover? And he said, what do you mean? They're like, you're relaxed and happy. Why are you happy? And he's like, because I'm a secret agent of change. I'm going to go help these people all day, every day. I get 8, 10, 12 hours a day to do what I do for people who desperately need it. And he wrote a book called The Inside Track, which was him writing letters by hand to his coaching clients who are not in jail, going, here's what I'm doing. It's like his diary of his time inside, of here's what I'm doing. Here's who I'm working with. Here's the strategy I tried with Bubba and it worked. Here's the thing I did with Mark and he threw a TV at my head. Like, it's absolutely incredible. I can't put the book down. And we're doing a webinar with him. I think it's June 8th. And where I get him for like an hour and a half. And of course, since getting out, he's now, he's still rebuilt everything to more successful than it was when he went in. And one of my favorite things that he says is he was nice enough to gift me the video recordings. Like I'm in his coaching program where there's like another video every week. And I'm on the money video right now. And he says the number one misconception people have is they think they need money. Whatever it is they want to do, they think they need money. It's like, you don't need money. You need a better strategy. So you don't necessarily need money to buy a business. You need a strategy, right? Get paid out of performance, get paid out of the revenue. So it's possible Dr. Tonti could buy that business without writing a check for $1. Not saying it's going to happen, but it could. If I get this e-commerce direct to consumer company, I will not have put up, all right, I will have paid a couple grand in legal fees for the lawyer, but I will not have written a check for my own money. Peter tells a story of how when at one point he started 21 businesses, a lot of them failed, and some of them obviously became incredibly successful and made him very, very well off. And he talks about how one of the businesses, they wanted a $21,000 copier. This was a long time ago when copiers were ridiculously expensive, scanner, printer, fax, whatever. They were industrial size and they didn't have the money. And he said, we don't need the money. And he called the copier, started cold calling copier companies that sold the copier out of the yellow pages. And his pitch was, I saw your ad in the yellow pages, so business can't be that good. Your ad's not that good. I'll meet with you for lunch for an hour and I'll teach you how to double your business in a year with no money. At the end of that lunch, you will either say, you're crazy and I'll buy lunch, or you'll say, oh my God, that's brilliant. You'll pay for lunch. You're going to give me the copier and you're going to hire me to help you grow your business. And he had to call more than one company to get an owner who would take the deal. But in one day, he had his copier and then had a client. And I said, you know what? This was yesterday. I'm not done with the money video. I was watching the first half. That's the first half hour. He was giving example after example of creating strategies like this. Like he was in the leadership team at a Tony Robbins event, and a kid, 20-something kid, came up to him and said, I heard your Peter Sage. Can I borrow $3,000? And the guy's like, who are you? Why do you want to borrow money? And he's like, well, I was able to borrow. I got the money. I spent all my money on the plane ticket to Hawaii for this 10-day event. I don't have the money to buy a ticket. I'm here, but I can't get in the room. I need to borrow the money to buy a ticket to this 10-day Tony Robbins event. And Peter Sage is like, you don't need money. You need a strategy. He's like, you're young. Why don't you find everyone in this hotel is for this event? Why don't you go talk to all the couples you see, ask them if they have kids, and say, hey, you're going to go home all excited. You might share some of this with your kids, but they're not going to hear it because it's coming from mom and dad. I'll be your kid's mentor for a year, and I'll do a coaching call with them every month and teach them something from this event. And they'll hear it from me because I'm closer to their age and I'm not their parents. And tell them the cost for this is the $3,000 that you need or whatever you need for the ticket. And the kid is like, oh my God, that's brilliant, runs away and comes back 2 hours later going, well, I got bad news. I didn't get one couple to hire me for the money. I got two that each paid me half, and now I have a ticket. And he's like, and I'm now thinking I should go get a whole bunch of other couples and make some money. You don't need money. You need a better strategy. So whether it's acquiring that Facebook group that Joe found that has 300,000 followers that are his ideal target market, maybe he doesn't need to write a check. Maybe he can test drive the group by running a promotion and seeing if it's worth it. Hey, make a post about my book and let's run an ad to it and let's see how many people go get it. And if that works out, then we could talk about me buying your group or sponsoring it. If it doesn't work out, he got free advertising. If it doesn't sell enough books, he sold some books at no money. And if it does work out, then maybe he's got a viable vehicle.
I'm Seth. I am Ask Police Group, Facebook.com, and it's got 2,000 people. Is that worthwhile? I need a bigger group.
It depends. So you'd have to test it, right? If there are 2,000 hyper responsive people, if you're in the group and you can see that every time the admin makes a post, 1,000 of those 2,000 people like it, those 2,000 people might be viable. I have seen groups and email lists, right, where there's 300,000 people. It's so funny. We're producing, some of you may know, a virtual summit on Monday. It's my first summit that I am the host of. It's going to go it's like 10 to 7 p.m. It's like all day. And I got all the speakers. I coordinated the event. We built the funnel. We drove the traffic. Well, there's one guy who's like, I have an email list of 300,000 people. I should be your keynote and you should pay me and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, let's see how it works. I'll pay you a commission on ticket sales. I'll give you 50%. Well, that email to 300,000 people, turns out 300,000 people on that email list, 300,000 are not active. They're not opening his emails, right? He didn't move the needle so much. I had emailed him 2 days and said, I don't see any sales. Did you even send the email? And then he's like, oh, my assistant clicked the wrong button. Good thing I didn't write a check yet. Like, okay, can you check and make sure? She sends it out. Okay, that's interesting. It looks like there's an issue because I see 178 clicks out of 300,000. That seems way too low. Like, so quoting list size or group size may not be the most important number, right? It may be the bottom line number of, hey, how many engage with your posts? How many actually click on the links in your emails? Because you might have an email list of 300,000 and 3,000 people are the active clickers, which is 1%. I would rather have a list of 3,000 engaged people than 300,000 where 297,000 don't even open them. That makes sense? Awesome. Can we give Dr. Joe a round of applause for playing? I can't hear you, Joe.
Shut off. I just made another post. I did notice there are some groups that have a strong administrator. Some of them, they just let you post anything. And is there a way to determine your likelihood when you post basically someone else's page? A way to know if the administrator is prone to stop you or because it does drive sales for me.
Okay, so there are usually, when you click the request to join a group button in Facebook, if they're smart, usually rules will come up and you have to agree to those rules and answer the questions for them to let you in. And usually the first rule on any group is no self-promotion. However, some groups don't have it. It's a Facebook thing. You just click on it and it picks that rule. So you could ask them to post it. You could offer to pay for sponsoring it. You could offer to share a percentage of sales, which is what I would do, because then it's commission. And if they don't sell any books, you don't pay anything. All right, who's up next? Let's see, Scott, Courtney, and Howard, and Sin Miss Solo. I'm sorry, I've mispronounced that.
You pronounced it properly.
Oh, I did. Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
welcome. We're
thank
happy
you.
to have you here.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Can you tell me about your business? Oh, you muted yourself again.
Oh, I'm an author.
You are an author. Okay. What is your book or books?
I write women's fiction mainly, but I've also written inspirational fiction, motivational, historical, young adult, mainly fiction.
Did you write the book The Days After That Night?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I found you on Amazon.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. So tell me a little bit about, oh, you've written a lot.
Yes.
Congratulations. Here, I'm going to share this on my screen. Congratulations. Wisdom for Men, Such a Proposal. Wow. You are a prolific author who is, it looks like some of these you might have different target markets.
Yes. So I mainly target adults, women, like mature women, but I've tried, like you see, some of my titles is just like the young adults. It's just one young adult book I've written, and I was just trying my hand with that genre to see if it was something I wanted to write. So I have like Under a Red Delta Sun is a young adult novel. I Love the Slave is historical.
That looks like your most successful book, at least in terms of all the reviews.
Yes, I did a lot of push for that. I did a lot for that.
Do you do anything else for work besides writing books?
I teach writing.
Is that at a school or
Yes.
just okay?
I'm an adjunct faculty at Cabrini University. I teach writing.
Awesome. So not only do you teach it, but you can do it.
Yes.
That's even better.
Thank you.
So how can I help? What is your goal? What question can we answer?
I have a problem with sales on Amazon. I've not been able to crack that code. So I've tried to do I've tried to do adverts.
Yep.
Currently, I have an advert running. I've not just been able to crack that, how to, leverage on Amazon. And I do have some of my books on Audible as well. I've tried to have them in as many formats as possible. So that's it.
When you say you have an advert running, is that an Amazon ad?
Yes.
Did you set up that yourself or did someone else do it?
So what happened was someone else did it at first. It wasn't getting any sales, nothing, like it wasn't doing well at all. So I found someone on LinkedIn who tried to tweak it a little bit, and that wasn't working. So the one I have running right now, I set it up myself.
Do you know who you were targeting on Amazon?
No.
Okay. Why don't we should probably have a separate conversation because I would want to do a screen share and look at your Amazon advertising account. And then we might be able to tell you how to set that up in a different way that generated more sales.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Unless you're able to do a screen share right now and don't mind everyone else seeing your Amazon ad account.
Let me see if I can. I mean, I don't mind everyone seeing it, but I am currently on my phone.
So you can, okay, never mind.
But let me see if I can move to my laptop because my laptop is right here in front of me.
Okay.
Oh.
And then everyone will learn a little bit about Amazon ads.
Wow, that would be great. Could you please put the code for me in the chat so that I'll just...
Oh, you mean the
Zoom ID passcode?
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem. So while we wait for you to switch over and sign in on your computer so that you can show us Amazon,
Yes.
Courtney, do you want to ask a question?
Okay, I'm not turning my video on because I got low bandwidth, so.
Understood.
Not really a question so much, but I'm what I started out, I'm coming full circle with my chiropractic and medical stuff. I'm calling it the perpetual patient machine, and
It's a great title.
thank you. And I'm going back to the original stuff that you hired me for years ago with the directories.
Yep.
Still very powerful. I'm doing that with Google My Business local stuff using some of my directory tactics. And then that's kind of like the intro stuff with local SEO. And then, following it up with an advanced package where it's more of a lead magnet and doing the email and marketing automation with some paid ads and social media. So yeah, it's I'm kind of coming where I started years ago, and I kind of got off that track, but it's all coming together now.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
So yeah.
Okay. Sinmasola, you are on your laptop now. Okay, so I will
Yes, thank you.
no problem. I'm going to make you a co-host so you can share your screen.
Okay,
Okay, you should be able to share your screen now.
right.
There is a share screen button at the bottom of
Yeah.
your Zoom app. I don't want to
Mm,
assume
yes.
that you know how to share a screen.
Mhm.
I had someone this morning who did not.
Okay, so I'm sharing my,
Aha, there we go. That is your
Yes.
Amazon ad account.
yes. Let me
Can
try.
you show me the advert for the slave book?
Yes, so what I did was, let me see. Let me just, I think I'm sharing the wrong one. Let me stop sharing this. So what I did was I did two actually, one for the slave book and one for all my books.
Okay, can we look at the slave book one?
Yes.
And then we'll teach everybody some Amazon advertising.
Okay. Let me stop sharing this then.
Well, you might just be able to go, oh, never mind. We'll find it.
So this one, let me share it now. All right, so
There we go.
yeah, so this is the one for the slave book, and I started it on April 30th.
Okay, can you, so everybody, we are looking at the campaign side of an Amazon advertising dashboard.
Yeah.
Can you scroll down a little bit for me? None of those are spending any money.
Yeah, well, the first person said I should do like 2 cents or something so that I would not have to spend a lot of money, because I had spent a lot of money previously and I didn't get any sales.
Okay, so I can't analyze something that has no spend yet, but let's at least look at the structure and see how you set it up. Can you go click on that first ad that says, I love the slave, $13.99?
Okay.
Right there. Yeah, click on that.
Mhm.
Oh, no, that goes to the author page. All right, can you hit your back button? Go back to the, yep. Oh, this is your product. Add products to advertise. These aren't the ads themselves. Okay, can you
Okay.
click on targeting?
Okay.
Aha, now we're getting a little bit somewhere. That column automatic, can you make that wider so I can see it? Yep. Automatic targeting groups. Okay, so you're using 4. Awesome. We're going to talk about what those are in just a second. Can you click on where it says close match?
This?
Yes. I mean, can you click on the words close match and hope? Oh, you can't.
It's yeah, it's not clickable.
Okay, so one thing that I see is you'll see that Amazon is suggesting you bid somewhere between 39 cents and 91 cents.
Yes.
And you are bidding 2 cents.
Yes.
So Amazon is not going to show, if they show your ad, it's not going to be very much.
Okay.
And if the average person that says in the middle is bidding 54 cents, they're going to take that person's money over your 2 cents every single time.
Okay.
So,
So I should change this to 39.
can you afford to bid 39 cents? And then watch it every day and make sure, because we can set the budget so that if you say, I only want to spend $10 in a day, you can change that and it'll buy you $10 worth of 39-cent clicks.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, why don't you and I do a separate call and we'll go through how you set it up from the beginning and maybe we can get those numbers down.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Because,
Can you?
like, last year I spent over $1,000 on Amazon ads, and maybe, let me be truthful, maybe I sold books worth 100 or 200 bucks, and that freaked me out, honestly.
Yes, if I spent $1,000 and got $100 back, that would freak me out too. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen for now.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right. So Scott's guess, he says he thinks he saw a $5 daily budget here. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to go pull up my advertising account. We'll make it easier. And we'll show you a thing or two.
Thank you.
No problem. Hang on, give me 2 minutes. You know what? If someone else has a question while I go pull up the Amazon stuff I would show you, feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
Seth, it's Steve Brady again.
Hey, Steve.
Real quickly, I get overwhelmed by everything that there is to do, and I end up doing very little.
Yep, that's normal.
Any strategies for that?
Yes. So I would tell you, so I have what I call a priority matrix, and I'm a little anal, so it's an Excel spreadsheet, and I give things a score from 0 to 10 in like 5 different categories. And then it comes up, it scores them all. And then I go with the highest score first and work my way down the list. So things you don't have to do that. You don't have to be that anal about it. You could just, you know what? Pick one thing. So if you've got a list of 17 things on your to-do list, you start with one and you work on that one until you knock off that one.
Well, it's more on the marketing, on the social media and generating.
Oh, okay. So that's even
more
easier to get overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So
and I don't have much knowledge about this stuff. So there's that learning curve as well.
Okay. So then what I would do is I would say, rather than get overwhelmed and get shiny object syndrome and see there's 27 different things you could do. Facebook, you could do Twitter, you could do LinkedIn, you could do Google, you could do Snapchat and TikTok and all this crap that's overwhelming. Pick one. So this applies to everybody, right? We all get overwhelmed. So I would pick one target market. I would pick one form of media to reach them in, whether that's direct mail, email, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, or whatever. Pick one form of media that target market uses, because there's no point in me picking TikTok if I'm going after 80-year-old arthritic widows. They're not on TikTok yet. So I would pick one target market, one way to communicate, and one offer to make. Just one media, one offer, one target market, and keep working on that message and sending out that message and tweaking that message until you get it that's converting the way you want and making money. And then you can look at another one. But so, for example, I am now, and in my college planning business, we use email marketing to our 22,000 high school guidance counselors that are on our list that actually open our emails. We get referrals from other financial advisors. I did not do these all at once. We run Facebook and YouTube ads to our funnel. And we do direct mail. I did each one of those one at a time until it worked and it could be put on autopilot. And we're adding next month, we're going to add print advertising, but we're going to run one ad in one publication going to one URL on our website, on our funnel. We're going to test and see if it works. And then once it works consistently for a couple months in a row, we'll look at expanding. But I don't try and add 17 things at once because I wouldn't get half of them done and I do a lousy job. Does that make sense as a strategy?
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, it's super easy to get overwhelmed. Do one thing at a time, one target market, one message, one offer, till that thing's cranking money, like our leads, like on autopilot.
Is there LinkedIn, Facebook in the financial advisor space? Is LinkedIn the best one to go with?
So this answer is to everybody. There is no one is the best one. It's where your target market is. So if I'm a college financial planner and I am going after affluent married couples, depending on what profession they're in, they may not spend much time on LinkedIn, right? If they're a W-2 employee at a company, they're probably not on LinkedIn very much. They're only on there when they want to decide they want to switch jobs. If they're doctors, they're never on LinkedIn. They don't have any time. They're with patients all day. Now, so the mom, stereotypically in that couple, she'll be on Facebook. I can get that mom on Facebook. Now, if that target market of affluent married couple is a business owner, then all of a sudden LinkedIn might become a viable option. If he's a pharmaceutical sales rep, he's on LinkedIn all day. So it depends. There's no right answer. It depends on where your target market is. So if you wanted to reach my 9-year-old daughter or my 13-year-old daughter, they're not on Facebook anymore. They're on TikTok. My wife is on TikTok because of them. And then I decided to start learning TikTok marketing to help my wife and get her first 5,000 followers so she could live stream on TikTok. But her core moms that listen to her podcast, read her books, they're still mostly on Facebook. So the right answer is, where does your target market hang out the most? Where do they consume the most content? Where are they the most engaged? And that's going to depend on your target market. And if you don't know the answer, that's okay. You may have to do some research and go find some people who are in your target market and ask them. If I'm Scott Connell and I want owners of independently owned restaurants who have more than one location, but it's not, a franchise, I might need to go interview a couple of those guys and ask them, hey, you're the owner. You're probably not flipping burgers. You're not standing behind the grill. Hopefully you don't work as much as everybody, or you work more than everybody else, but I might ask them where they spend their time. Hey, if you go online, where do you go? Oh, there's this restaurant forum of restaurant owners and we all talk to each other. I'm like, perfect. I'll go there and hang out there. You want to hang out where they're hanging out. Okay, so I'll do a real quick on Amazon. So this is one of my Amazon campaigns, selling my podcasting book. And you will see, for example, on the ad for the physical book, I spent $31. I got 4 sales for $59. So it was profitable. I spent less than I made.
Yes.
On the Kindle, that's $10. I spent $70. I made $114. The goal is I want to spend less than I make, so I am acquiring customers at a profit.
Yes.
Because as long as I'm making my money back, I will buy customers all day long.
Yeah. Me too.
Awesome. So then that comes into play in terms of your, let me go find. These are all our search terms where we're having our books show up. You'll notice plenty of them, we didn't spend any money. Our ad didn't show. But in this case, this was a book, Make Money on YouTube. We spent 57 cents. We got a $10 sale. I will take 57 cents turning into $10 all day long.
Yeah.
You can be a YouTube star, 70 cents. They bought a physical book for $15.
Wow.
Online trainer secrets, 51 to 10. So the goal is, you will, if I went through all of them, you'd see we have hundreds and hundreds of ads running the majority of them don't spend any money or very little, $2, $3, 37 cents. And then you'll notice they're all paused. We stop running them and we only keep running the ones that are making sales.
Yeah.
So the goal is, because there's 11 million products on Amazon and more going up every day, I got to find the ones on which people are going to buy my stuff.
Yes.
But, and you know what? I spent a whopping total on that campaign of $23. So I'm okay bidding 37 cents, 89 cents, because I didn't spend very much to find out which ones would work.
Yeah.
Not saying that every campaign works like that, but that's the goal.
Yeah.
Other
Thank you.
questions? One thing we're going to share is next month will be Friday, June 10th, second Friday of the month. We will be here from noon to 3 Eastern time. And we'll be talking about how to use direct mail to generate leads for your business. And that applies if your clients are consumers or if they are other business owners. It works both ways. So the link for that, I will put in the chat box in 2 seconds so you can register now. There, it is bit.ly/June 2022 mastermind, all lowercase. That link is in the chat. We certainly aren't going to need another hour and a half. Any other questions?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Okay, back to Vitality once again. They have a name that has nothing to do with what they do.
Right.
And so how in the world, what would be the best way to drive traffic?
It depends on what target market we're going after and where they are. So driving traffic isn't his name doesn't match what they do and should really be changed. We could easily buy a domain name, a website name that is what they do and just redirect it to their main site. Driving traffic is a function of who are we trying to drive? Are those personal injury lawyers or are they surgeons or whoever? And then if they're PI lawyers, where do they hang out? A LinkedIn advertisement might work. An ad in a trade journal might work. A LinkedIn message might work if we did it right. A print ad or a sponsored email to a personal injury association list might work.
Perfect. So I did suggest the redirect, if you remember.
Yes,
Buying domain.
Yes, and I agree with that.
Okay, that's it.
Awesome. No problem. Anybody else?
You have a question just regarding those YouTube ads. What's kind of like a good, let me just try to pull mine up here.
Yeah, if you want, I can make it so you can share your screen.
Oh, if you want, but it's not that big of a deal. So I was just targeting people kind of in the area codes around me. It's just 3 area codes. Looks like I got about 2.2 thousand impressions. So how often it was shown, about 1.2 thousand views. So that's how many people watched the video. And I believe the video was about 1 minute and 40 seconds long, or about 1.5 minutes, minute 50, something like that. And it looks like I got about 5 website visits.
How much did you spend?
I did $10 a day, so 41.10.
So you spent $41 on 5 clicks?
It looks that way.
That seems too high to me.
Yeah.
Do you want to here? You know what? You want to share? Are you okay sharing your screen?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right.
Let me see how to do that. Give me a second. I can make this bigger. Share. You can see that?
Yes. Oh, okay. So you did Google Ads Express, which is the supposed to be easy button for Google Ads, but it doesn't let you do everything you can do with the normal AdWords interface. So we'll work with it.
Oh, oops.
No, that's what you didn't know. That's okay. There's two different versions of Google Ads. This one spends your money faster and not as well. And the other one.
Let's do the other one. Yeah.
So the 50% of the people watched your video, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need way more clicks than that. Can you scroll down for me? Keep going. Although you also have the issue that this is for personal injury. Technically, this is for being hurt. So not everybody's going to be hurt, but
Yep.
why would they watch your video and not click?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like the beginning's like, have you been in a car?
Yeah, I remember your script.
Accident?
Okay,
Yeah.
scroll up for me. Under C performance details, can you click that? Shopaholics travel bus. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. All right. Can you go back up? Can you hit the back arrow? Okay, now scroll down and click under interest where it says manage. Okay, keep going.
Maybe get rid of do-it-yourselfers.
Again, you're going after a broad market because you have no way. You know what? So here is my thought. I would stop this ad. I would do Google AdWords, not Google Ad Express. And then I would build a list of every YouTube channel and every YouTube video of every personal injury lawyer anywhere near you, and run your ads in front of people watching their videos. Because the only reason I would watch a video by a PI lawyer is probably if I were hurt.
Okay.
That would
How do
probably
I,
eliminate all the waste in your marketing budget and dramatically increase your click-throughs and get you real prospects. Because right
do
now
I-
you're doing what they do. You're advertising to everybody because you have
Yeah.
no way of knowing when someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
But you do, because in my opinion, and I'd love to see you test this, the only people who would watch do you need a lawyer in a car wreck or how to fight your insurance company are people who were injured.
That makes sense.
I think you could piggyback on all the effort and money they spend promoting their own YouTube videos and just run your ad in front of them.
So how do I stop this ad?
Okay, go to back. Yep. Where it says active, click on that. Pause.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Wonderful.
Can you go up to the top where it says all campaigns? Click that. Okay, just checking. Yeah, it's AdWords Express.
So how do you do the, you said there's the Express and the other one?
Full version. Shoot me an email. I'll give you
Sure.
instructions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, like you're missing a bunch of stuff in the toolbar up top that isn't even there because yeah, it's AdWords Express.
Okay, I'm gonna stop share here.
Yep. Awesome. All right. So we're going to have our contest because Joe and Joe both got something done last month. As you saw, Dr. Tanti got his YouTube ad, his video done and his YouTube ad up, and Joe Fair got his Facebook ad up for his book. Shoot me a private message and vote for who should win the free vacation, which is 3 nights and 4 days in Orlando or Las Vegas. I will pay for your hotel stay in a 5-star hotel. So shoot me a direct message so everyone else can't see it and say Joe should win or Dr. Joe should win. And we'll figure out who we're sending on a trip. Well, who we're paying for a hotel for anyway. Send me a private message. All right. 1, 2. All right. Hang on. Let me count them up here. Go 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Our winner is Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe, shoot me an email on whether you want to go. You know what? you're in Canada, so you can either go to Orlando or Las Vegas, or if you want to go someplace in Canada, shoot me an email and I will give you a list of our hotels locations in Canada.
Awesome. Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. Remember to register at the link for the June mastermind session, which I will put in the chat one more time. There it is, bit.ly/June 2022 mastermind. Scott, did you not want to volunteer today? You didn't get a turn. Did you want a turn? You have to unmute and tell me.
I was just going to say I'm a bit stressed at the moment because I'm in a holding pattern. As you know, I'm redeveloping all my products and having transitioning all the manufacturing to the States. So just with supply chain issues and other things that's put me back. I've got all the designs now all complete. The only thing that I'm waiting on to get finalized is the European plug. Once I get that done, then I can get everything pre-checked with UL to make sure I'll meet all the certifications. And then, you know, I'm hoping to get my new molds into production by the end of this month, launch hopefully by the end of June, get all the testing done. So August, September. So I'm just trying to get my head above water until that happens. And, but I'm determined to bring the best ever to the market at that point. So listening to a lot of the commentary today, it's been insightful, but I'm just waiting to do my YouTube ad and all that other stuff once I get launched. Yeah. But there's some, in the meantime, I am going to start to target some of the corporations, because in Los Angeles, there's a famous property developer down there that's been using my product and they've had tremendous success. And in one of the locations, a cheesecake factory was having problems. And I spoke to the manager there and I said, look, if I reach out to corporate, would you be prepared to tell them your findings? And he said, yes. And the same with another manager at another location at Maggiano's. So next week, I'm going to start targeting the corporations directly with that new brochure that I sent you, and just try to get my foot in the door with the actual decision makers, and try to get the commercial side of things going, because that's where the money is going to be.
Awesome. Well, good. I can't help you with that stuff. So I can't help you with your product. So good luck with that. Keep your head above water, and then we'll see you next month. And obviously, when all that gets done and approved, we can hit the ground running.
No worries.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Have a great day,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.